So I have options now. I could take this piece of wood off, or I mean this log, just to get it out of the way. Try and go work on that limb. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm just gonna take this piece of wood now. No, I don't want to take this until I get this, because this whole piece here, see how it's split like this color? Imagine I cut this here and now this wood isn't holding this anymore. That whole thing could go, so we have to leave that log till that's out of there. So we'll go ahead and work on this big limb. And I'm going to take a big piece, but I'll put 2 straps on it and the rope. So I'll strap each side, or I'm going to try to. I might not be able to, depending on the heights, because this one's higher than that one. I don't want it to rotate. So if I can get out there and get a strap on each side and the rope here, I'll be able to cut a pretty good sized piece. Alright, so what I could do, let's see. Put a strap here. Cable down. Strap there. And now equivalent to that, this side. Here. That. This. Probably too much, but whatever. There's a little bit on that side. Okay, it popped out. You got it. Yep, it's cut off. Completely off, sitting on the shelf. Question is it balanced? Oh yeah, I think it is. Huh? Yeah, perfect. Look at that, no rotate, not even any rotation. What I'm going to do with this log is I'm going to back up. I could strap it and put the balancing rope on it, and then it would for sure be balanced, but that would take time. So what I want to do is I'm just going to back up, get an eyeball at it, see where the center point would be, which would be right here, and I'm just going to put the strap out maybe 6 inches to a foot further than that, so it keeps it on the angle it's on, which is like this. This would be horizontal. This would be horizontal. So you can see the angle is kind of angled up. So I'll put that strap about where that sucker's at, I think, and that will be balanced on that angle. I just want to point out, you know, why experience is important with stuff like this. You know, somebody who's not experienced might strap this log and cut this, and then it's like, look at this whole collar here for this big massive lead, and the only thing holding it on is this piece here. If I cut that, this whole piece is gone, guys. And you know, you get somebody who's not as experienced or doesn't realize that, and they make that one simple mistake there, and it's game over. Tree work is very dangerous, and all it takes is one little mistake, or maybe, you know, somebody, they just weren't paying attention. That's why I say the #1 cause of accidents is not paying attention, because, you know, if I wasn't paying attention to that split and I just cut that, that's a major accident. So, oh, that wasn't butt heavy, that was balanced. See how I left that hinge again and let it swing away from me. Instead of just cutting it off and it shock loads the crane, the hinge takes the shock load out of it, you know what I mean? So now we're gonna work on this. We'll get this big top first, then these little limbs. This little limb, I'll probably just put a strap on the butt, hinge it down. This one, the strap will go out on the end, I'll notch it, come stand it up. Same with all of these. No, that's good. It should break. Now that the notch closed, it breaks. Perfect. That was perfect. So it's important your notch is the right depth here, or width I should say. If that was too wide, it wouldn't have closed, and I would have went back and cut it. If it was too narrow, it would have closed before it got straight up and down. It would have broke the hinge. But that was perfect where it closed just as it got straight up and down, and then it pulls the hinge and breaks it. You can see how much hinge I have here is a lot because it was dead, so I left extra hinge. But that was scary because, you know, it's coming at me, has boomed over there. So now I want to stand this piece up too. This piece will take pretty big because these tops are pretty dead. Well, this one is. That one I don't know about. There's buds on it. But what I'll do is just strap it here at this Y and cut it way down low. That should be good. If I put it on that piece, it's gonna want this one's gonna want to twist around and stuff. If I put it here, hopefully they balance each other out. Again, I'm gonna put a notch in it, undercut, get out of the way. Probably a little wide. Spout closed. See, now it's closed. It's straight up and down. It should pull the hinge out. It did. Perfect. So that was actually probably a 1/4 of an inch too wide of a notch, but it was close enough where it worked perfectly. So this piece I wasn't as scared about because he's pulling it like this. If something goes wrong, it's going that way. It's not leaning out over here like that one was. But again, with the hinge, you can see I'm even with the cut. Left lots of good hinge. And then, yeah, if you do the notch right, it closes and pulls it. If not, you have to go back and cut it. But at that point, it's straight up and down, where all the swing and stuff like is at. You don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? So again, we have these limbs sticking up. I'm gonna cut them off. If not, it's gonna make it want to spin and twist and do weird stuff. So, you know, the groundies might get a little mad because now they have to drag a limb that they wouldn't have to, but who cares? Good. Strap it way out here on the ends. You'll have lots of leverage. Do the same thing. It has to be that full. Alright guys, my battery's at 29%, so I'm hoping it lasts. Too narrow. No, narrow. And that there's what happens when your notch is too narrow. Good learning experience, huh? Yeah, just slightly too narrow, guys. I mean, it broke before it closed though too, so I got lots of hinge. It's just dead. now the question is, I might just piece this piece down. Starting to pitch. I think it's cut. It is. Alright. The split cause it to put weird pressure at a certain weird spot that normally wouldn't be there. And I mean, it's about 30 inches in diameter here, and I only have a 25-inch bar, so I had to circle around. And I was a little worried I didn't reach all the way over there, and it was pinching, so I couldn't just stick the saw in there. You know what I mean? Anyhow, I got to get a big strap, change batteries, so we're gonna get rid of this little saw in here. Alright guys, got a problem. I don't know if you can see it, the cable's frayed up there really bad, like it's gonna snap. So we can't lift nothing with it like that. So Brett's gonna take it back to the shop, get the rear mount, and they'll fix that cable, and then he'll bring the rear mount back for this log. I got deadwood this tree and that tree, so I'm gonna deadwood those while he goes and swaps cranes, and then we'll go from there. It's always something. So we don't know if it was a shock load from that one piece that did it, or if it was already frayed. Brett doesn't think it was that piece that did it because he said it wasn't heavy at all. He said it was like it weighed nothing because it's so dead. But I don't know because it did shock load it. So, and I was like looking at the footage and stuff. Oh, look at the deer. And the reason why that actually broke off like that is because he started turning sideways on his boom. And then there was nowhere for the piece to like move to. It put pressure on the side of the cut and it pulled the hinge out from like the side. And that's why it snapped off. If you would have been booming straight up, it would have been able to move and close the knots more. Because he was pulling sideways, it was sitting against itself. It couldn't move. The only option it had was to pull that hinge out. Anyhow, nobody's perfect, so look at that.
Yeah,
because they rub together.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they're coming down like that with all that weight on it.
You can see like the silver part here where they're
Yeah, you can see that part where it rubs there.
Ooh, right there's bad too, yeah.
Well, we only lost, what, 20, 25 feet?
Yeah, and like we don't ever really use this, like this much cable is never out, so this is always inside there rubbing on the other cables, you know.
You ought to check
it's
the
only a
damn
couple
cable.
strands.
I don't think we should use it like this.
Oh, hell no.
Do you, Kenny?
I mean, it wouldn't be ideal.
Look at that.
I don't think it would snap. I mean, it's still. I
Look
mean,
how
you
bare
lost,
you are though, right there.
You lost 4 strands out of how many? Like 16 probably. So you're still probably good for a certain amount. Like,
Look how tiny this looks right here.
yeah, it's braided though. Like, it's like a rope. Like those climbing lines, dude. 1 strand from those will hold you.
Yeah.
Like I've watched videos of them testing them, like breaking, how much the breaking point is. Like they'll cut 1 strand at a time and then put it on the machine that measures the snapping force.
Yeah.
So see how this strap's on a bit of an angle? It's gonna make it pop. The butt's sort of gonna flip towards me a little. So you can see how that tilted. That's because the strap's on the angle plus the piece is so short. But that's okay. too. It's just because there's not enough butt weight for where the strap goes. Holy. Alright guys, that's it. Job's done. My battery died. I didn't switch it, I just charged it up a little bit. It's like 10% right now. I hope you guys liked the video. If you do, hit the like button, consider subscribing, that'll really help me out.